This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Nicole Griffin. 3 teenage pedestrians are dead after being hit on the northwest side. This tragedy is sparking outrage in the community. Troy Washington explains why a local minister is now calling for change.
Flashing red and blue lights lit up Kessler and 38th on Saturday morning just after 1. Pastor David Green wants this to be the last time the yellow tape is brought out in front of his church.
I received a phone call and said, Pastor, this has just happened right in front of the church. My heart was saddened because we've been talking about the need to get some sidewalks down the street, especially in an incident where these young people were just, walking back to their destination.
It's alarming for him because this isn't the first tragedy here, but he wants it to be the last. The pastor tells RTV6 he reached out to city officials and he's hoping that this latest tragedy is enough to get some changes made.
This is an accident caused by vehicles, and now their lives are lost. 3 lives have lost. Families are impacted. We're creating additional family trauma.
Crash between 3 cars. The collision made them lose control, cross the median, hit another car, causing that car to hit the 3 teenagers.
You have a lot of traffic. It's open to a lot of cars, traffic all hours of the day and night. So we've been advocating, and the community's been advocating for, we need some sidewalks to get from here down to the closest bus stop, which is 30th and Kessler.
Green has his own solution for keeping pedestrians safe on the northwest side.
At least 5 years now, we've been working, trying to advocate with the city to prioritize getting sidewalks from here, because there is a path, a trail that ends at 30th and Kessler.
He thinks solving the issue could be as easy as extending that trail down to 38th and Kessler to make sure no one else is hurt or put in harm's way no matter the hour they set out on foot. Working for you on the northwest side, I'm Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. And the church will hold a vigil at the church on Monday morning in memory of the victims. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. Meteorologist Kyle Mounds is standing by tracking some severe weather. Kyle.
Yeah, Nicole, we had 1 round of thunderstorms move across central Indiana. Those are in Ohio, but we've got a couple of thunderstorm warnings right now. You can see these cells. One around Nashville, that's a strong storm, but a severe thunderstorm warning just south of Seymour for Jennings County until 6:15. And then as we get into eastern Bartholomew County until 6:30 this evening, both of these storms could have some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, also some hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter. And you also notice they are moving very slowly, only about 20 to 25 miles per hour to the east. So some heavy rainfall, localized flooding not out of the question. There you can see this storm as it continues to move to the east, and we track this one out of Bartholomew County, and we'll be moving toward the areas in eastern portions of Decatur County as we go through the next several minutes. Just issued, we've got a new tornado watch for northern communities, Peru through Logansport and Monticello. That's going to go until 10 o'clock tonight. This storm did have a tornado warning on it earlier this evening, now a severe thunderstorm warning, and that would track it into the Fowler area as we get a little closer to 7 o'clock tonight. So we have that marginal risk across much of central Indiana for some wind and hail, but as we get into the slight risk area, that's where we could see an isolated tornado over the next couple of hours. So here's a look at TrueCast. 7 o'clock this evening, you can see a few of those thunderstorms to the south. Those to the north should zip through here fairly quickly during the evening hours. By 9 o'clock, though, still some of those thunderstorms over the southeastern portions of the state before things quiet down overnight. You can see those building cumulus clouds over Bloomington right now, but you are dry. It's humid, too. We've got temperatures in the 70s. We'll look ahead to your Sunday in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you. Now to our continuing coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on Indiana. More than 1,800 Hoosiers have now died from the coronavirus. The state health department says more than 30,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Marion County still has the most positive tests with 6,914. Nearly 215,000 people have been tested in Indiana with 14% testing positive.
At Tyson Foods, safety is not something that we take lightly.
Big changes are underway at Tyson meat plants across the country after thousands of coronavirus cases have been traced back to the company, and that includes the Tyson plant in Logansport, which shut down for almost 2 weeks after hundreds of workers tested positive. The outbreak has delayed reopening stages in Cass County. More than 1,500 people there have tested positive. That makes Cass one of the top counties in the country when it comes to COVID-19 cases per 100,000 residents. RTV6's Cornelius Hocker shares what he learned from a Tyson executive about how the company plans to keep their workers and our community safe.
Checking temperatures, sanitizing break rooms, and on-site medical screenings are being done at Tyson meat plants to stop the spread of COVID-19.
We are not afraid to slow down plants or even idle plants if it means keeping our team members safe.
Tyson Senior Vice President of Human Resources, Hector Gonzalez, described for me this greater focus on employee safety.
Safety is our top priority. It comes first before we run any ounce of meat through any of our facilities.
Despite all the safety measures Tyson says they put in place, some workers still don't feel comfortable going back to work, including Gary Whitehouse, who I spoke with 2 weeks ago after the Logansport plant reopened.
They say the ones that get affected the worst are the elderly and the children. Well, I'm around elderly people, I'm around children every day, and I'm gonna be 50 next year. So it's not worth it.
Gary says he's not alone, even though Tyson signs are proudly displayed outside of several homes in the city.
There's so many people that are saying that they're not going to go back to work because they don't feel safe going there.
Because they know a lot of people are worried about the virus in their community, Tyson is also encouraging workers to be safe as possible when they aren't at work.
We've furnished face coverings for team members and for their families, and have continued to offer face coverings to team members as they leave work,
hoping to cut down on the community spread that could be linked to their facilities. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
These safety measures at Tyson plants are expected to stay in place indefinitely while we all deal with this pandemic. And Gary, the worker that we talked to, says he does not have plans to go back to work. Tonight, many restaurants in Marion County are back open with outdoor seating only, but some are still trying to figure out how to open under these new circumstances. A local manufacturing company wants to help independent restaurants who still may need chairs or bar stools. Facility Concepts in Whitestown has about 500 chairs they're giving away to restaurants in need for free. Company leaders heard about restaurants opening with outdoor dining, and since they have extra inventory, they felt it would be good to help out the community.
We're deeply immersed in the restaurant industry. We talk to folks all the time, and we realize how difficult it's been. For some of them, if they're not successful in their reopening, it could be the end of their business. So if we can provide some assistance with some free chairs and bar stools and furniture that'll help them, we're really doing it just simply because it's the right thing to do.
They are looking to help independent restaurants downtown or in other locations that are in need. We do have information right now on the RTV6 app with how you can get in contact with the company. Today, race fans were supposed to be pouring into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Legends Day, but instead the track was filled with families who are struggling and need food during the pandemic. Well, Gleaner's Food Bank of Indiana is seeing a drastic increase in the number of food insecure Hoosiers looking for help. Today, a large mobile food distribution event was held at the Motor Speedway, focused on getting nutritious food to our hungry neighbors. Each family received meat, produce, and 2 gallons of milk.
Really wish we were watching a phenomenal racing event happening here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but we can't in the current circumstances. Biased as I may be, I think we're here doing the second best thing at the Motor Speedway, feeding up to 5,000 households of our neighbors with 40 pounds of healthy, nutritious, perishable food.
Super strange to be here for Legends Day. Massive crowd here for a really great cause. So on behalf of Andretti, we're really honored to be a part of this wonderful event for a great cause and to really make a difference and bring the awareness to a serious issue within our hometown.
Last week's food distribution event at the State Fairgrounds was the single largest hunger distribution event in Indiana, and today they believe they beat that record, and we're expecting to feed 5,000 food insecure households. The Indy 500 may be postponed until August, but that is not stopping people from continuing traditions during this Memorial Day weekend. From porch parties to rocking 500 fashion, people are still celebrating. Every year, Bike to the 500 starts at the city market in a large group, rides to the track with a police escort. Well, this year with no race, Bike Indianapolis, the host of the event, is still encouraging people to get out and bike 2.5 miles around your neighborhood. That is the same distance as one lap around the Motor Speedway.
There's nothing better, particularly we've been sheltered in place for so long, and now we have these beautiful days, and you could get out, get some exercise, get some sun, and it's a wonderful experience.
After your ride, make sure to post on social media using the hashtag Bike to the 500. Organizers say it's important to continue social distancing and to keep your group small. Coming up, President Trump is calling on governors to open places of worship this weekend. Meanwhile, the CDC is out with updated guidelines on keeping you safe from the coronavirus. We'll have the details coming up.
Channel.com/rebound. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
The Memorial Day holiday weekend is often considered the unofficial start to summer, but this year the coronavirus pandemic has many Americans under stay-at-home orders. All 50 states have started to reopen at least some parks, beaches, and businesses, but at least half a dozen states are seeing an increase in cases of the virus. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimber with the details.
With many Americans eager to get outside and enjoy the Memorial Day weekend after months of stay-at-home orders,
I'm so happy. I love it. I'm so happy I'm out of the house.
States have been rolling back restrictions on beaches, golf courses, mountain trails, and more. While all 50 states have reopening plans underway, 6 are seeing a rise in cases. North Carolina reporting its highest one-day total number of new cases, and in Alabama, the state's healthcare system is being pushed to its limit.
Well, right now, if you're from Montgomery and you need an ICU bed, you're in trouble.
As businesses across the country look to reopen, the CDC has updated its COVID-19 guidelines, saying the virus mainly spreads directly from person to person and doesn't spread easily from contaminated surfaces. It's also estimated at least a third of the people who contract COVID-19 are asymptomatic. In New Jersey, many heading to the boardwalks along the Jersey Shore, but some are hesitant to join the crowds.
I'm actually headed out of town for the weekend, so I'm going to stay away from it.
As some states begin to allow places of worship to open their doors, President Trump is calling on governors nationwide to allow all churches, mosques, and synagogues to reopen, calling them essential.
In America, we need more prayer, not less.
The president threatening to override governors who don't open places of worship, though his authority to do so has been questioned. But some public health officials warn reopening too quickly could lead to a spike in cases of the virus.
If they're too close together, if we're singing, if we're unmasked, these are the type of measures that will cause this virus to spread like wildfire.
The CDC with guidelines for the faith community advising people to limit singing and promote social distancing in congregations and minimize the sharing of worship materials. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington, D.C.
It's now fairly quiet across the central portion of the state, but southern and northern areas are where we are going to be tracking some storms. And again, we've got that new tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight for portions of White as well as Cass and Miami counties. Also there around the Fowler area, you're also under that tornado watch. Here's where we have a couple of thunderstorm warnings, and this one into portions of Jackson County has now been extended into Jennings County. Could have some wind gusts around 60 miles per hour and some large hail. That goes until 7 o'clock. And again, these storms are moving very slowly. You can see the warning has dropped off of that one that's moving through Decatur County, but still a lot of lightning, and you could have rainfall rates in excess of an inch. So some localized issues out there. As we look at 7 o'clock this evening, you can see a few of those storms to the south and just a couple to the north. So while we do have that tornado watch, I think the threat will be isolated, but something, of course, we'll certainly monitor for you and make sure you got that Storm Shield app handy and ready to go in case we have any warnings issued. Looking north out of downtown Indianapolis, though, you can see those clouds are very flat. So across the central portion of the state, I think we're pretty much done with rainfall activity for the day. 73 the temperature now. We almost got to 80 right before those thunderstorms, and you can see where that air is recovering. Close to 90 degrees right now in Sullivan, 77 in Tipton, and Lafayette coming in at 83. It's going to stay warm and muggy here as those storms come to an end for us tonight. We're only going to drop back into the middle 60s, and your Sunday planning forecast, temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. I think we'll get into the middle and upper 80s as we have a lower chance for showers and thunderstorms. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day. Your high 87 in Columbus, 87 in Lafayette, and can't rule out a couple of spots actually get right around that 90-degree mark for us. Here's a look at TrueCast. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can see we've got a mix of sun and clouds out there. And as we go into the afternoon, it's going to be fairly isolated with the thunderstorm activity because we've had a front lifting through the area today, helping to kind of trigger some of those thunderstorms. Tomorrow, that's going to be pretty much locked up to our north. So again, some of the heating of the afternoon as we're getting into more of the summertime weather pattern. But overall, we will see a fairly dry Sunday for us, but we're going to keep those rain chances going the next several days. Looks like they will peak a little bit here as we go into Tuesday, and that is not going to knock down our temperatures. We've got those highs staying above average right through the end of the upcoming week. 7-day planning forecast, as we put it all together, there is that daily chance of showers and thunderstorms, most likely on Tuesday and Thursday, with highs in the 80s. Looks like we do cool down a little bit once that front kind of sags through the area on Saturday. Still above average, though, with a high of 78.
Final full season of IndyCar racing, and guess what? T and I are taking over the IndyCar social media pages. A little Q&A with the 2013 Indy 500 champion. A lot of fun coming up on our Sports Extra Spotlight.
Track. Ready to go.
RF.org. Usually we'd be just a day away from the Indy 500, but instead the race is currently set for August 23rd in this year of the pandemic. Our trackside analyst Tony Kanaan is also in charge of the Drivers Association as they work towards a return to racing. And this week he had a message on IndyCar's social media. Call it Tony's Takeover. Dave First was there too in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
This isn't the way the track was supposed to look on May 20th, in the middle of race week at the world's greatest race course. This isn't what IndyCar's Facebook page was expected to look like either.
You have Carb Day.
An AJ Foyt Racing takeover during this pandemic era, including 2013 Indy champ Tony Kanaan on Facebook Live, reminiscing a bit.
I inevitably find myself going, okay, Monday I would have been doing this, Tuesday I'd be...
I'm not that nostalgic about that it's not happening this weekend because I'm still like, it's going to happen. So I got to, all these things that I'm missing or not missing, it's going to happen in 3 months from now.
And that's why back in the Foyt Racing Shop and Speedway, the work continues to get race cars ready, turning a wrench here, placing a wrap there, all under the banner of SuperTex, as the Facebook questions continue.
How impressed are you by the popularity that AJ Foyt, your boss, still has amongst older and newer generation fans? Best of luck this season. Sure would be great to see you and AJ win the 500 together. That'd be a very popular victory. Yes, it would.
That would be good. It looks like the guy never lost his fan base. I mean, you can barely walk into our garages every day because it's packed.
People are in there because you guys have the best ice cream in the garage.
And hot dogs. And hot dogs.
And hot dogs. That's correct.
And a few questions about what happened just 7 years ago and getting back to sip the milk a second time.
What did you say when you crossed the finish line in the Indy 500 in 2013 as the winner?
When I crossed the finish line, I was pointing up, and I was just telling Dad, I told you I was going to do this one day. I told you.
We're going to have to do the math.
The takeover was a moment for the fans, who undoubtedly can't wait to see the drivers and cars again with their own eyes. It's about getting back on track.
I have my new shirt. Look at that. We're back on track. Ready to go. I can assure you fans that we're working and thinking every day how we can bring you guys back somehow, somewhere, because this is what IndyCar is all about.
And ultimately, it doesn't get any more real than that. Dave First, RTV6 Sports.
Visit theindychannel.com/rebound.
Crayola is drawing a lot of praise for its latest effort to make sure all colors are represented in its crowns. It's launching a set called Colors of the World. It includes 24 new crown colors meant to represent different skin tones. The names are also more descriptive, like light golden, deep almond, and medium deep rose. Crayola says it hopes the new colors will help foster a greater sense of belonging in the kids who use them. The new set will be out in July. Kyle.
A few storms we're tracking near and south of Nashville to Greensburg, and that one severe storm tracking into Jennings County have actually had some reports near Caruthersville of some rotations. So we'll watch that one closely, and of course we'll continue to monitor any storms to the northwest, where we have that tornado watch for areas around Peru and Logansport until 10 o'clock.
All right, Kyle, thank you, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.